Assalamu alaikum. Hello, it's me Ashraf Habib from الياسمين section, primary stage. English World 4, Unit 9, Lesson 1. I'd like you all to open your books on page 90 and 91. At the end of this lesson, the learners are guided to read, understand and practice new vocabulary. Number 2, read, understand and practice reading information. Finally, you are guided to answer oral questions. Okay, before we start our lesson, I'd like you now to look at these pictures on pages 90 and 91. What can you see? Yes. You can see a man who is trying to write on a paper. Yes, this is the first picture. What else? Yes, there is a book. And what else? Yes, there is a wood block. And the people used wood block to make what? Yes, to print. We use the wood block to print. Okay, what else? What can you see on page 91? We can see people who are trying to make several copies of paper using wood block. Yes. What else can you see? Can you see a needle on a pool of water? Oh, yes. And finally, what else can you see? I can see people who were trying to make fire. Maybe. We are going to discover later. And finally, what can you see? Yes. These are fireworks, and all of us know what are the fireworks. Okay, let's start our lesson with a question. I'd like you now to look around you. Make a list of things made of paper around you. Yes, in your room. You have 1 minute. Look around you and make a list of things that made of paper. Yes, the book is made of paper. What else? The notebook, of course, made of paper. If you have a poster on the wall, it's made of paper. And if there is a map, it's made of paper also. Okay. Our lesson is divided into paragraphs. Yes. The first paragraph is about paper. The second paragraph is about printing. The third paragraph is about the campus. And the fourth paragraph is about gunpowder. You are going now to read and listen. Read and listen. Before reading and listening, I'm going to give you some questions on the first paragraph. Try to find the answer while reading and listening. The first question is, what did the Chinese invent 2,000 years ago? What did the Chinese invent 2,000 years ago? Question number 2. What did they make it from? What did they make it from? Okay. Listen in order to answer.
Poster 9 and Pupils Book Unit 9, page 90. Reading. We use these every day.
Paper. The Chinese invented paper about 2,000 years ago. They made it from different plants. At first, they used it for wrapping things. Then, they used it for writing and drawing on. This picture shows leaves and flowers. Paper was most useful for books. For hundreds of years, people wrote books. They used pens and ink, and it took a long time. Then one of the most important inventions appeared.
Okay. What's the answer of the first question? What did the Chinese invent 2,000 years ago? Yes, the answer is paper. Okay, question number 2. What did they make it from? What did they make it from? Yes, the answer is they made it from different plants. They made it from different plants. Okay, let's move to the second paragraph. And before dealing with the second paragraph, you have only 2 questions. Try to find the answer for them. The first question on the second paragraph is, what did the Chinese first print on? What did the Chinese first print on? Question number 2. What 2 things did they use for printing on paper? Okay, listen and read.
Printing. Chinese people first printed on cloth more than 2,000 years ago. They cut a pattern on a block of wood. They put dye on the wood block. Then they pressed the block onto the cloth. The block printed the pattern. They could use the block again and again. Sometimes the cloth was silk. The Chinese invented silk too. This piece of silk is a beautiful curtain. Later, the Chinese printed words on paper. They cut words on the wood block. This was difficult work. They put ink on the block. Then they pressed the paper onto it. The wood block printed the word onto the paper. The printers printed 1 page at a time, but they could print with the block many times. They could make many copies of each book. More people could have books. The oldest printed book in the world is from China. It is more than 1,100 years old.
Okay, who can tell me what's the answer for the first question? My first question is, what did the Chinese first print on? What did the Chinese first print on? The answer is cloth. Question number 2. What 2 things did they use for printing on paper? What 2 things did they use for printing on paper? The answer is ink and a wood block. The answer is ink and a wood block. Okay? I'd like you now to add another question, which is, how old is the oldest book? How old is the oldest book? Try to find the answer. You may find the answer at the last of the second paragraph on page 91 here. Yes, the answer is more than 1,100 years old. More than 1,100 years old. Okay, let's move to the third paragraph, which is about the compass. And here we have some questions. My first question is, what did sailors first use to find north, south, east, and west? What did sailors first use to find north, south, east, and west? This is the first question. The second question is, what happened if it was cloudy? What happened if it is cloudy? Or if it was cloudy? What happened if it was cloudy? The third question is, what was the first compass? What was the first compass? Okay, listen, read, and answer.
The compass. A long time ago, sailors used the stars at night. They could find north, south, east, and west. When it was cloudy, they could not see the stars, and sometimes they lost their way. The Chinese made a discovery. A special stone made a metal needle point to north. They floated the needle in a bowl of water, and it pointed to north. It worked at sea when it was cloudy and completely dark. It worked on land in the daytime, too. People could find north, and then they could follow a map. They could find their way to new places.
Okay, who can tell me the answer of my questions? My first question is, what did sailors first use to find north, south, east, and west? What did sailors first use to find north, south, east, and west? Okay, the answer is the stars. Question number 2. What happened if it was cloudy? What happened if it was cloudy? The answer is they lost their way. They lost their way. My last question, what was the first compass? What was the first compass? What was the first compass? Who can tell me? Yes, the first compass was a needle in a pool of water. Okay. The last paragraph is about the gunpowder, and my question is, what happened to the mixture of salt when it was heated? What happened to the mixture of salts when it was heated? My second question is, what did Chinese use gunpowder for? What did Chinese use gunpowder for? Listen in order to answer.
Gunpowder. Chinese scientists discovered gunpowder 1,100 years ago. First, they found a kind of salt. It burned with a purple flame. They mixed it with other salts. When they put the mixture in a metal box and heated it, the box exploded. It was a very powerful mixture. They used the gunpowder to make fireworks. Chinese people still make fireworks. They are the best in the world. If you go to a firework display, you will see Chinese fireworks. They explode in the sky in different shapes and colors.
Okay, who can give me the answer for my questions? My first question is, what happened to the mixture of salts when it was heated? Yes. The answer is, it exploded. Question number 2. What did Chinese use gunpowder for? What did Chinese use gunpowder for? The answer is for fireworks. For fireworks.